father went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way, and the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister, and brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, and the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So,
do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Huge news. The killer has been caught of Charlie Kirk, and his identity has been revealed. It is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. We will go over that here at the end of the video, but today's video we're going to be focusing on breaking down his movements before, during, and after the shooting. So we can see here that the event would be getting started. As that's getting started, the shooter, Tyler Robinson, would be seen on 800 West heading south towards the campus. We can see here on this footage where he is walking left to right on 800 West, caught on surveillance at 11:50 a.m. One thing to note is the limp. It's believed he has his rifle in his right pant leg, which is causing him to walk like this. Clearly he can't really bend his right knee, which means he's just kind of straddling along. I guess to anybody that saw him, probably just looked like he has a limp, but clearly he has allegedly the rifle in his right pant leg. As the footage ends, we can see on Google Earth the direction he goes, south. Here is the campus right there. From there, it's believed that he would have probably likely had taken possibly this plant road right here. So this would have been kind of what it looked like as he had walked towards the campus at about 11:52 a.m. The Lucy Center that he would climb would be to the right here, coming up after we pass the parking garage. He would enter the Lucy Center here and would be photographed on surveillance on multiple cameras. Here we can see where there's a definite bulge, likely where the rifle is stowed. Definitely not natural. Here he is seen going up some stairs, and there is a photo where he is going up, and we can see the back of his leg, and we can definitely tell from this photo here where there's clearly a bulge in his right leg, where he likely had concealed the rifle. Then from here, he would likely get on the roof on top of the Lucy Center, where he would get into position. And then, sadly, at 12 a.m., Charlie Kirk was getting ready just as the suspect was getting on the roof. Here is a drone footage, aerial view of what the suspect would have seen. This is where he would have proned, where he would be able to overlook the event. Sadly, just as the event would start shortly after noon, here is footage of the shooter in position at approximately 12:20, getting ready. It's too bad that somebody didn't yell out, but hindsight's 20/20. And then
Do you
sadly,
know how many
the
mass
shot
shooters there
was
have been
taken at
in
12:20.
America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Shortly after, there's some footage of the shooter leaving the scene in a hurry from right to left there on top of this Lucy Center rooftop. Here is some more drone footage. As we can see, there's evidence tape blocking off where he was prone down. And that's where the event was at. And here is a photo of what the shooter was positioned. And we can see some, clearly some evidence there. This is where the shooter would run to the north. And eventually go east towards the parking lot. And this is where he would be caught on the surveillance footage that was released yesterday. Again, where he's seen going left to right here on this footage, heading north first in a hurry, and then kind of going towards the corner northeast. What's interesting in this video is you can see that he's got some kind of shirt or towel that allegedly has the gun in it. You can see how loose that object is in his hand. And here he is where he's dropped. I think he hurt himself, in my opinion. That's a big drop. But we can definitely tell that he has his backpack on. It's really hard to see, but right here I found a good spot. You can see the backpack right there. Now it kind of really blends in because he's wearing all dark. But clearly what's in his hand is not the backpack. It's some kind of shirt or towel concealing the rifle. Then he kind of makes a dash for it. And then as he approaches the parking lot and Campus Road, I think now he kind of starts to gingerly walk, trying to blend in. Multiple witnesses walking around. Here he approaches the road. That is, I believe, Campus Road. Here is a Google image of that same location from approximately where the camera was looking, and that is where kind of the path he was taking. That is the road there that he would cross over. Here is where there's a picture of the FBI where they were looking. There's multiple photos of them searching. That's where that was taken from. The shooter would then head north. Instead of taking 800 west, he would actually go into the backyard to the east of that road, and there's that wooded area, and that's believed to be where the gun was dropped. And there they found shoe print near that gun. And so here's footage taken from that same day of the shooting, and I'm assuming they had found the rifle and also that shoe print. And I believe these are the marshals probably trying to track any other evidence, such as more footprints as he had left. So this is literally just, if we were to look to the right, that would have been where the gun had been dropped in the shoe print. And clearly they're trying to pick up his tracks. But that is the direction he would head, heading north through this backyard here. And you can tell they're definitely on the trail of where the shooter was going. Then this is the last footage. The gun, that's the wooded area that the gun is believed to be found, along with the footprint. And we just saw the shooter, Tyler Robinson, in that just behind this home here. That is 800 West. That was the street he was just walking on earlier before the shooting. Then he would end up behind this home, and then he would eventually pop out. And then he would start running and end up back on 800 West here, which you're going to see here in just a second. It's interesting as there's multiple witnesses walking away from the shooting, but there he is seen now running from the crime scene. And here is Tyler Robinson, and here his the mugshot that has been released so far. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information, but I just wanted to give an update on his movements and the update that he was caught and he has been identified. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, and I'm sure we'll learn more. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please like. All right, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is wild. I was working on a video, and I'm like, I know they're going to do a press conference because I started working on it, and I think it was like 5 a.m., and I think while I was working on the video, about an hour in, I was kind of checking the news, and then I heard that he had been caught, and Trump had done a little morning show announcing that he was caught. And then, yeah, that one person that I feel bad that Sky. That's why I was really hesitant not to say that name, because everybody thought it was that person. And I've done this long enough to know that happens so often that people, are trying to look for, the individual, and they find someone that may look like them. Yeah, you always want to be careful because, again, that poor guy, if he has clearly had nothing to do with it, that could ruin his life. And somebody could, take violence against him, or something like this. So, but yes, so unfortunately, I did not think they were going to do a press conference this early, but while I was doing my making my video, of course they did it. I missed out on it. So if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna watch it. I think it's like 20 minutes. So again, I have not seen it since I was trying to get that video out. So here's the press conference. I thought we'd just watch it together and then go over whatever the other details have been released since then. But if you're just tuning in, he has been caught. And again, I'm sure more details are just going to kind of pour out throughout the day. But here is the press conference that happened about an hour ago. Yeah, so I guess the father turned him in, and they mentioned something about a minister. So here we are. Let's go ahead and watch this because, again, I have not seen this.
At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff.
If you got headphones, it sounds like that mistake that they had yesterday where it's like it's only on one headphone. So let me get the audio
Mike
going.
Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason.
Let me know
Lieutenant Governor
how the audio is. I'm trying to boost it just enough to where it's not crazy.
Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners.
Oh, wow.
Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take
No,
questions.
it was not.
Thank you.
It was this guy here. Just looks like an average guy. I mean, it's terrible.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where at my direction the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time.
Oh, wow.
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office.
Okay, I better pause it because I don't want to get in trouble. Do some commentary. I am at the moment kind of multitasking. I got the PC affidavit, it looks like. So we'll go over that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of it is what they just said in here, but maybe there's other stuff. Like I said, I apologize for interrupting, but I don't want to get doxxed or anything. So I needed to kind of pause and do a little commentary, but we're about halfway through, and I got the PC affidavit, and I'm still I'm looking at your comments, and I'm also looking on Twitter to pull the PC affidavit. I got that and other details.
Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement.
Is there another presser, Judy? Is that what you're saying? Because I did see something before I went live that looked like there was something else going on. So we could also tune into that.
To see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that has stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks.
Okay, it's almost over. I am just collecting as much as I can, because there's a lot, some new photos of them collecting evidence. So I am just trying to multitask. So once this is over, we'll just dive into a bunch of different stuff, because there's a lot to go over. I appreciate everybody in here. If you can, please, at the very least, hit that like button. I know he said Valhalla. I'm a big Vikings fan. I used to watch that show, and yeah. I mean, I don't know what that says about Kash Patel, but it's kind of interesting.
To the Attorney General and the Department of Justice, their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. Congratulations. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. Yeah. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, You are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state.
I got Tinkerbell
somebody
out of
came
there.
from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence.
I mean, we still have our riots, but yeah, that is true.
There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp.
Yeah,
or
you're
it's
welcome.
going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me.
Okay, that's pretty much it. I got to kind of step in because I can't play all of it without kind of commentating. But yeah, I agree. Again, I'm not this, obviously, I don't follow politics that much. Of course, we just focus on true crime. But of course, this happened in my home state, and it's just still so surreal knowing that this happened here just the other day. Because again, we don't have a lot of shootings here. And it's terrible. And then we have one of the worst. I mean, they're all bad, of course. But just truly disturbing. So I have the probable the PC affidavit. And I'm just kind of looking at Tyler Robinson. I mean, it just looks like your average kid. I mean, it's just crazy. And we'll look at some of the stuff. People are going to, sadly, the mother's Facebook page and showing hate. And you shouldn't do that. God, they're sending terrible messages. This kid, I mean, you would, looking at like a lot of this older stuff, again, you just, Looks like just the average kid, smart. It's just wild. Absolutely wild. So let's see. Hopefully I can read this PC affidavit. Looked like it was super small. So let's go over that, and then there's other stuff to go over as well. Boy, I hope I can read this. Okay, I think I can read this. All right, so let's go over. He's got 3 charges: felony, discharge firearm, obstruction of justice, and of course the big one, murder, all felonies. So 3 charges he's got right now. He's booked in. He's got a Washington, Utah address, according to this. It sounds like he had roommates. All right, so this affidavit is really... Okay, I can read it. That's good. All right, just looking at this. So he was booked in last night at arrest date 10 p.m. Wow. That's awesome. I mean, that's pretty fast. Not bad. Basically, that's day 2. They caught him. Obviously, thanks to his family who helped turn him in. There's pictures of his father. They're shared all over Twitter. I don't know if I want to share that. Obviously, and of course with his mother as well, which I do feel bad for, of course, the family. All families involved, of course. Kat, your comments are... I can see them here. Comments are here. Okay, let me put this down. Okay, so here's the probable cause. So maybe there'll be some stuff that I have not... they didn't mention. So we'll go ahead and read it. Let me just take a sip here. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Just looking at chat here. Okay, so here is the probable cause. So on September 10th, Charles Kirk was at the UVU campus in Orem, Utah for a political event. Mr. Kirk is a conservative political activist who was scheduled to speak at an event in the courtyard area of the UVU campus. Let me go down. Okay, yeah, we already kind of know that stuff. Let's get to the... Okay, I don't want to read that. It just says that he was sitting down speaking, and at approximately 12:20, he was shot in the neck. He was transported to the Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Orem, pronounced dead at the hospital. So it says, investigators reviewed the Utah Valley UVU surveillance cameras. While reviewing the cameras, investigators observed an individual on the rooftop of the Lucy Center building of the UVU campus at the time of the shooting. Hereafter, the unidentified individual referred to as suspect, which is Tyler. Based on surveillance camera footage, suspect appears to be a white male with dark-colored hair, wearing dark-colored clothing, glasses, long-sleeve shirt with a picture of American flag and eagle on it. He had the Chuck Taylor Converse-style shoes. Suspect was also carrying a dark-colored backpack on his back. Suspect walks with this distinctive gait, which is going to be huge. Prior to the shooting, suspect appears to walk with a stiff right leg at a relatively slow pace. Suspect's ability to bend his right leg, and I mentioned that in the video that I just put out. Obviously, if you do have something long like that in your pant leg, you're not going to be able to bend your knee. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Let me take a sip here. So, yeah, clearly something in his right leg that restricted his movement where he can't bend his right leg. Investigators were able to track the suspect's movements on the campus starting at approximately 11:50 a.m. at 9:10. At approximately 11:50, the UVU surveillance camera captured the suspect walking across the grassy area north of Campus Drive. That is the video footage that we played at the beginning of the video. Obviously, that was released. That's the TMZ one, where he is on 800 West heading south. Suspect walked south through the parking lot and approached a pedestrian tunnel that runs underneath the campus drive. Oh, so there's a tunnel. Suspect paused at the top of the stairs and pulled out what appeared to be a cell phone from his right pocket. Interesting. Huh. Using his right hand at approximately 11:53 a.m. Suspect eventually put what appeared to be a cell phone back in his right pants pocket using his right hand. I wonder if we could zoom in and see that. It's interesting. Let me write that down real quick. Right side. Okay. At approximately 12:02, suspect was recorded walking on the north side of the Lucy Center building, walking with the same gait as observed earlier. Suspect entered the Lucy Center building through a set of doors on the southeast corner. That's basically where he... Oh, actually, southeast. Actually, let's pull up Google Earth while we're doing this. Southeast. Okay. So, get my bearings here. There it is. So he entered, so north, south. So he entered somewhere on this side here. This is southeast. Interesting. Because clearly he came one of the directions, either this way or this way. I'll have to figure out where that tunnel's at. Then entered on this side. That's probably where all the surveillance is from. Okay. Let's see. At approximately 12:15, suspect was observed walking up the stairs that led to the common area adjacent to the Lucy Center building. Suspect walked to a short concrete wall that separates the common area from the rooftop. At approximately 12:17, suspect climbed over the short wall and appeared to crouch down on the north side of the rooftop. So now he's up on that spot, in the shooter's spot. At approximately 12:22, suspect stood up and started running. Okay, so this is after the shot. So they didn't mention that. The suspect stood up and started running across the rooftop of the Lucy Center building. The notable limp from previous surveillance was absent, so clearly now he doesn't have the gun in his pants anymore, and he's already taken the shot. And so it's a black towel or a dark towel, because clearly this, is mentioned white, but I can definitely tell he had some kind of dark, shirt or towel. Suspect ran to the west side of the rooftop. I think northeast, but at approximately 12:22, suspect lay down in a position consistent. Oh, okay, so this is before the shooting. I'm sorry. That's weird. It made it sound like they're just passing the shooting part. Okay, so he stood up and ran across the roof. A notable limp. Oh, so he pulled out the gun. So he got on the roof. They must have pulled out the rifle and was on one side of the roof and then ran to where he was going to take the sniper shot. Okay, that makes sense now. At approximately 12:22, suspect lay down in a position consistent with a prone shooting position near the edge of the rooftop and appeared to be facing west. Okay, now that all makes sense. In the direction of the courtyard. So it sounds like what they're saying is he was up here and then made a dash after he pulled out. I guess he went down, got the rifle out of his pants, and then was seen running to get into position. That's what it sounds like. Okay. Oh, geez. Where did I lose? Okay, suspect lay down in position with prone shooting position near the edge of the rooftop facing west in the direction of the courtyard. The rooftop of the Lucy Center building overlooks the courtyard area where the event featuring Charlie Kirk was taking place. The Lucy Center building is east of the courtyard and at approximately 12:23. Sadly, Charlie Kirk was shot. At approximately 12:23, surveillance shows that the suspect stood up suddenly from the edge of the rooftop and sprinted north of the rooftop, which we've seen in one of those videos, just a short video where they're up there and he just kind of darts. Suspect ran to the northeast. Oh, let me move this over so everybody can see it here. It's so easy to lose your spot because it's just... okay, suspect ran to the northeast corner of the Lucy Center building. So, yep, that's where he then now is running here and where he's going to drop down. Northeast corner and approached the edge of the rooftop. Suspect placed a dark colored item on the rooftop and proceeded to lower himself off the rooftop. So... shooter ID. Let me
father
Sorry.
went to a U.S. Marshal who was fantastic.
Since I did do this. And yeah, so they're talking about that because you can see it right there where he, like, you see kind of what looks like just, like a shirt or towel, definitely something that's, doesn't have a lot of mass. Oops, let me just take my voice away. But yeah, the way he lays that down, that's definitely not a backpack. The backpack's on. It was really hard to see until like right here. You can now tell where the backpack, you can see the mass. But he has that towel and the gun, I guess, wrapped in it. And then now he's going to wing it over. Okay. All right. Suspect ran to the northeast corner. Yep. Suspect placed a dark colored item on the rooftop and proceeded to lower himself off the rooftop. Suspect dropped off the rooftop on the grass below. I'm sure he probably... I would not be surprised if he sprained something or bruised something. Suspect ran north near the parking lot to the east of the Lucy Center at approximately 12:24. Suspect ran across the Campus Drive Road. Suspect appeared to be carrying an item whose identity is not clear from the surveillance. The area north of the Campus Drive Road where suspect crossed over consists of the grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser model 98.3006 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. This is trigger warning. Inscriptions on the fired casings read, "Notices bulge OWO. What's this?" Inscriptions on 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascists, catch," with an up arrow, right arrow symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. Interesting. Another casing said, "Oh Bella, ciao, oh Bella, oh Bella," and then the third one says, "If you read this, you are lame." Investigators also discovered a shoe impression on the northeast corner of the rooftop edge of the Lucy Center building. The shoe impression was located in the vicinity where the suspect climbed down from the rooftop. The shoe impression is consistent with the shoe sole characteristics of a Converse Chuck Taylor shoe. That'll be huge as well. If they have that imprint of a shoe on that, that'll be big. Before I move on, I think I did make a mistake. I kind of thought, and I always said like I'm speculating, but I always kind of thought the gun was found just a little bit further on, but it looks like, let me find the picture here. it appears that they are collecting evidence. That looks like a carabiner right there, doesn't it? Let me know what you guys think. That does look like a carabiner. Shackley, I don't feel like it's the same person. Well, you... Oh, I mean, the father turned him in. I think there's a lot of evidence that's, you know. Yeah, no, I saw that Shack Lady yesterday. I saw that stuff. Yeah, I think people, you know, were looking. Again, the father turned him in. There's a lot. Like, this guy was caught on Discord messaging after. We're going to get into the PC. I mean, you know, I'd say wait until all the details are out to, you know, if you don't feel like they got the right person, because that sounds like they do. But anyway, this is the spot where I think I got one thing wrong, because I always kind of thought the gun was found in here or here, but it might have been found here, because this is... Come on. There's a photo of the FBI. You know, they're kind of standing here. Of course, this photo is taken in the fall, actually 2 years ago in October. So, but it looks like they're collecting evidence. Let me know what you guys think. But if you look, you can see the curb, and as the road's starting to turn, and you see the trees, and you can see the embankment. And if we look, you know, it's the same thing. Notice the road starts to curve to the left. So they're clearly in here. So I guess he ditched it in here. I thought he ditched it further on, but it looks like he ditched the weapon and bullets there. This is my guess there. So I did get something wrong. I mean, I did say I was speculating on where the gun was found, but continuing on. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that that Robinson had confessed to them. Yeah, that's not good. Or implied they had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the county sheriff's office. Investigators. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional footage of the UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving. Oh yeah, this is another damaging thing. That gray Dodge Challenger. So this one's a big one. Investigators reviewed additional footage. The surveillance identified Robinson arriving on the UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 on September 10th. Is that AM or PM? Huh. Man, unless that's like military time. That's weird. In which he observed on video in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shorts, black hat and white logo, and light colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators, Washington County on September 12th, early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with the surveillance images. Wait, what? Okay, so today is September 12th. Did they put the wrong date? Because he was arrested last night, September 11th, at 10 p.m. Did they get their... Yeah, that's why I'm saying if it's military time, yeah, it'd be 8 a.m. Yeah, it'd be 8 a.m. Yeah, I think they have this date wrong. I wonder if they meant when encountered in person by investigators. I think probably September 11th, because it's probably because he was arrested at 10 p.m. Maybe. Yeah, anyway, Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in a conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. Family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed the roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Tyler Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord, and that's not going to be good. That's damage. I mean, it's just like same thing. If you don't do Discord, it's just, a place where you can, send videos, messages, have a bunch of people. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen. As each message was showed by Robinson's roommate, these photos consist of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with the emoji icon Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from the drop point. Oh, yeah, that's not good. And then he's going to say leaving the rifle in a bush. So if they find it in a bush, that's not good. Yeah, I was going to get to that as well. I mean, this isn't no dummy. This is a kid that had a bright future. It just, I'm just blown away. Leaving the rifle in the bush. In a message saying that messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. Wow. Leaving a bush. So he literally said that in a Discord. Referring to. Yeah, that's really bad. I mean, obviously, that's only stuff that the, depending on what time that was made, if that was right after, well before they ever announced, finding the rifle and in a towel, that, yeah. The message also referred to engraving bullets and mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Yeah, so this guy, literally just bragged everything right after. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I wonder, is that after he got back? Or did he have clothes in his backpack? Based on evidence detailed in the statement, I believe there is probable cause that Tyler Robinson committed the crimes of murder by shooting Charlie Kirk. And then it just talks about the charges. So he's facing 3 charges. If you missed it, these are the charges. Oh, that's weird. Flipped. Murder, obstruction of justice, and discharge of a firearm causing bodily injury. So 3 felony charges he's facing. He was booked in at 10 p.m. on 9/11. Maybe that's why it says 12 there, because it says date in at 1:58 a.m. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, for sure. They will definitely. Yeah, he did. Yeah, Keystone, right. I mean, he basically just said, yep, look, this is what I, more or less what I did. This is where the gun's at. It's wrapped in a towel. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, that is really damning evidence. Was Tyler a gamer? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, who isn't these days? I would not be surprised. That's interesting. There's been no mention of that. I mean, if the dad turned him in, I mean, you know, what do you guys do? Do you think do you think that father deserves the reward? TX guy 74. Thanks for coming to members for the channel. I appreciate that. And Tammy, you too. Thank you so much, Tammy. God bless you. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a photo of him where he's like, it looks like he's on Trump, like a little Trump doll. I'll show some stuff here. So here's a photo of him, and that looks like the same Converse. So here's his setup right here. So PC, got the headphones. Yeah, he's probably a gamer if he's got the headphones. I mean, well, I guess that is a dorm, so you probably need headphones anyway, but yeah, it looks like the same Converse shoes, definitely. I mean, they are Converse, that's for sure. They could, I mean, sometimes footage can lighten up something, but so there he is in his dorm. Studied at the University of Utah. Lived in Cedar City. Oh wait, no, I don't know if that's the right one. Discard that. Okay. Officials confirmed after the news. University confirmed that he briefly studied at the Utah State University in 2021. A family member said how he became more political in recent years. He talked about the messages on the bullet casings. We already mentioned that. There's a mugshot. He registered to vote in 2021 as unaffiliated party. Authorities said a family member of Robinson told a family friend that he had confessed or implied that he killed Kirk, which we just went over. Investigators reviewed footage where Robinson arrived in a Dodge Challenger vehicle at approximately 8:29 local time, 15:29 BTS. Charlie Kirk was shot later. So I'm assuming that's in the morning. So he arrived maybe to scout the place. Let me know what you guys think in chat. I'm assuming that's got to be what that is. He was studying aviation. Yeah, I'm just dumbfounded, truly. He was arrested in Washington, Utah. So if anybody's wondering, let me just show you guys where Washington, Utah is from where Orem is. There it is. So as you can see, that's basically on the border, southwest. This is right by St. George, actually. God, I thought it was a little bit further away, but yeah, right next to St. George. So that's a long drive. So I don't know how he was expecting to go back to get the gun. I don't know. It's crazy. So that means he managed to get away. I mean, I wonder if we'll learn, like, did he have his Dodge Challenger parked somewhere? I'm assuming that's got to be, he had it parked, somewhere in, like, in one of these neighborhoods. Yeah, pretty wild. those are images of different shoes? I disagree. I mean, I'm a former skateboarder. The only thing is that this might be black, but again, you got to remember, photos taken under certain light could change the color. I mean, these could be black. They look, kind of light, but again, it's all about lighting and the camera. It's just a common known thing that photos can make things look lighter or darker, change the color a little bit, but they're clearly Converse. Those are both Converse shoes. Anyway, moving on.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
That's him talking with his mother. Man, it's crazy. And again, mental illness. Yeah. Crime Talk says the Challenger was parked on campus parking. Interesting. Yeah. Again, the best news is that this person is caught. They're not have to, because again, that's a long way. I mean, he was able to get unlike the Boston Marathon bomber who was on foot, and it took a while. Let me look up the latest stuff. Okay, I might play this one clip here. Okay, that's nothing. Let's see. Let me go back to this one here. Oh yeah, and then there's one where he's wearing a Trump shirt, or is that the one I just showed? It's so weird. Huh. Okay, let me check YouTube here, because I know they were probably talking about him and maybe revealing some details. Okay.
To feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems
that, because it sounds as though there are some anonymous donors who want to help as well.
Most certainly, Josh. The reward now $100,000 for information that leads to an arrest here. And law enforcement says they've been getting thousands.
Green, identified as a student, shot himself at the school and later died, according to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office.
This started streaming 7 hours ago. Sorry, I thought there's one, where is it? Okay, here. All right, this is the one I want.
Take a good look. This is the latest information we have from our content partners as we are learning the suspect in custody on this Friday in connection with the assassination of Charlie Kirk is a 22-year-old from Utah. Law enforcement officials confirming that to the Associated Press. Authorities identifying the suspect as Tyler Robinson. Now, a lot to discuss, and as we continue this thorough and detailed coverage, I want to transition and bring into the conversation none other than Tim Rebele. He previously worked for the Secret Service for 22 years on the Presidential Protective Detail. Tim, a pleasure having you join us here on Live Now from Fox. Hello to you.
Hello to you. Thanks for having me.
So a lot to discuss. Tim, let's first go through the latest from that press conference. Viewers, some just might be tuning in. What do we know? We heard from FBI Director Kash Patel saying that it took the community. It was a group effort. If you see something, say something. 33 hours it took to get.
What do you mean, Mystery Sky? I'm sorry, Crime Talk. Let me know which. You mean like presser or something? Briefing? Or maybe you're meant to say briefing? Let me know something besides the press conference that we played at the beginning. Let me know if there's something else, because, yeah, I'll be happy to play it.
Get to this press conference.
Yeah, listening to the press conference and, following along from the time this incident happened, it was, like Kash Patel said, it was great police work. And you can't do this without the community. And you're so right. The see something, say something. It works every time. So it sounds like a great investigation from all partners, state, local, and federal.
We heard from Utah's Governor Spencer Cox in that press conference saying that a suspect's family member actually turned him in. We're also hearing that he was joined alongside a family friend. Let's discuss that, because as the images were circulating, we had images from TMZ, we had images from the campus. We saw the suspected shooter climbing the side of the roof to get up there.
So it looked like, so there's photos. I didn't want to show it because some of them like show us family members. I think there's like at least one or two out there that show that, he's he at least, is familiar with weapons.
There were so many people who were speculating who this person could be, many people not knowing that it would be a family member who would come out to turn this person in.
Yeah, so, a lot of these cases, just mass shooters in general, school shooters, or in this instance, most of these individuals, they have the term, we hear it all the time, but it's leakage. I don't know, but I'd be safe to say, and they mentioned it briefly in the news conference, where there may have been some leakage in him talking about it and showing this hatred towards Mr. Kirk prior to actually committing the incident. And I'm glad that the family members helped turn him in after the fact, but I wish they were a little bit more proactive, and maybe this never would have happened.
As you say that you wish it never would have happened, some somber words from Utah's governor towards the end, and I want to quote him. For many people, it stuck out. He says,
he wasn't. It does look like he's shooting far away, but considering master snipers, that's I'm assuming that's probably not again, I'm not a gun person, but that's I forget the exact distance, but I think with that kind of rifle and some decent experience, not having to be a master, I think maybe just kind of a lucky shot, but it doesn't seem like he's got to worry about bullet velocity or wind. I think he's close enough that as long as the scope is lined adjusted right, and he's going for the kill shot, yeah.
Is this the end of a dark chapter or the beginning of a darker
Caroline, there you go. Yeah.
chapter in history with your Secret Service
Susan,
expertise? Unfortunately, this isn't the first type of tragedy you have covered, but so many viewers on the edge of their seats wondering, is this the end or the beginning of a darker chapter, as Utah's governor so eloquently put it?
Yes, he brought up a couple good points, talking about the 60s, which were a little bit before my time as well, but, one of the most violent times as far as assassinations go. And with my experience, we've seen a lot of violent events, towards this country. But
200 yards. Yeah.
Like you said, most importantly, we have a choice. We individually have a choice whether or not how we write this next chapter. And hopefully people take to heart exactly what he said and make that choice to turn to talking about differences and choosing towards, nonviolence.
Tim, this morning, a lot of eyes are on the weapon, even the bullet. We are learning from authorities in that press conference that a bullet had the words "Hey Fascist" written on it. For many people, they are looking back to that tragedy that unfolded at Annunciation, a Catholic school and church, where we were learning that some of the magazines from that suspected gunman had words written on it, some of them political, some full of hatred. Paint the picture for us, please. Set the tone of what's going on in America today.
Yeah, and it's something that nobody really talks about is how we are trained as Secret Service agents. And there's something called the pathway to violence. And everything starts with a grievance. And obviously, the shooting in Minnesota that you referenced and the shooting that occurred in Utah on Wednesday, there was some sort of grievance. We just don't know what that grievance is right now. We could probably, try to figure out, obviously, what that grievance is. But everybody goes from a grievance to an ideation to planning, research, probing, then execution. And the key is, as Secret Service, we were taught, is to get people off that pathway to violence. And that's what I'm talking about. These individuals show a grievance, and they're writing on the shell casings and they're writing.
Yeah, thank you, Emily.
We don't
yeah,
know
I saw
exactly
that.
If this individual had a manifesto or not, but they're providing information prior to their acts or the execution of the violent act, and that's where we need to be better as a country. We need to see something, say something. As a friend, I don't know for certain, but there was probably some sort of leakage along his pathway to violence where he had the grievance to the ideation, the planning, the research before he executed. I don't know, for instance, but I'd be safe to say that he probably researched that site prior to committing the act.
Okay, so sorry guys, my bad. Let me make sure I didn't mess that up on my mic. I do got some details. I'm always multitasking here to get you guys some information. So he drove 3.5 hours from his home from Washington State, which is basically southwest of Utah, basically right there near the border, close to St. George. But he drove north up to Orem, 3.5 hours on September 10th. He arrived at 8:29 a.m. In a gray Dodge Challenger. This was captured on campus surveillance. He did park. So it's interesting, like he's seen going away. I wonder if he doubled back then. I'm trying to read it. So I'm going to play this. I'm trying to get more information, but I do have other stuff that I'll share. Do you know you could write on a bullet? Yeah, again, I'm not a gun person. I don't know. Maybe you can engrave. Yeah.
Act on Wednesday, he probably did a dry run.
Hey, Carolyn, good to see you, sweetie.
Where to park in the neighborhood. He just didn't do that, on a whim. So we all need to be better as Americans. And, if something we hear doesn't sound right, we need to talk about it and then obviously talk to the authorities, state, local, or federal.
Yeah, Tim, as you discuss a potential manifesto, we did learn in that press conference that the family is saying that the suspect became more, quote, political recently as it relates to the current climate, as it relates to MAGA, as it relates to, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Are you seeing more of that in your line of work for those people that might not agree with what's happening in America, so they think they can take what's going on into their own hands, literally, to potentially make a change, even if it turns deadly?
Yes, unfortunately, and the rhetoric on both sides, it justifies in people's mind that they could take a violent act to end whatever they may disagree with. So from the highest levels of this government, we all need to just put our differences aside and stop with this rhetoric. We can do it, you and I can do it, but I really hope, most importantly, our elected officials in and around the country can stop with this rhetoric on both sides, every part of the aisle, and we get back to some source of just humanity here, and so these people don't feel empowered to carry out these acts.
Tim, with your Secret Service experience, and I want you to detail it for us, for maybe the average person that might not understand what it takes to carry out safety and security, not only for the person that might be speaking at these type of political or school events, but also for those that are attending, in this case, students and faculty on the campus. So if we look back in time, we look back to the political season at that time, former President Donald Trump, we remember that tragic day where someone scaled a roof and then shot him in the ear, and so many people posing that question.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this. Here's something that's interesting that I found. Robertson's father recognized him from FBI photos and confronts him, encouraging surrender. Robertson initially refused. Oh, this is interesting. I haven't heard this. So Tyler initially refuses, reportedly saying he'd rather die, which that's what I was kind of worried about, because we see that a lot after something like this. The father enlists a youth pastor. So this is where the pastor. So this is all kind of makes sense. This is again, maybe you guys have heard this. I haven't heard this. Like the context, we know like the pastor was kind of like involved somehow. So it looks like the father recognized him off, everything going on. Confronts his son. And the son says, no, I'd rather die than turn myself in. So he enlists a youth pastor, a family friend, and clergy member with law enforcement ties for help. The pastor facilitates contact with authorities, so he's kind of the third party. So, SWAT doesn't show up, and, I'm sure they showed up, heavily, but, so it was kind of a a family member relays that Robinson confessed or implied his involvement in the shooting in Washington. Is tipped off, leading to his arrest without incident. He is wearing clothing matching surveillance. From the scene. Interesting. So that's one piece. There's a little bit more I'm trying to get, but that's interesting. I didn't hear that. I mean, we kind of heard just the nitpick part of it, But that's how that went down. That's amazing, that went down that way, because that could have gone horribly wrong in so many different ways. It could have been a shootout. He could have just taken his life. Yeah.
How did this happen? How did Secret Service miss this? How did law enforcement not know to be on the roof already so that this doesn't happen? Months later, we are now in 2025, and we see the worst has happened to Charlie Kirk. It wasn't an ear. He lost his life. Are you seeing that strides are being made to make sure this doesn't happen again, or are you seeing a stop point to where people are just assuming that it's already done? Maybe law enforcement, they aren't all on the same page. Paint that picture for us, please, because a lot of unanswered question as it relates to how did this happen in the first place?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, I'm retired from the Secret Service, so I don't want to speak to what they're doing this at this time. But I know that they've learned from that horrible experience in Butler, Pennsylvania, and they're only going to be stronger moving forward. They've been around for 160 years, and for the next hundreds of years, they're going to be even stronger. But from a level of like an individual like Mr. Kirk, he is protected by typically retired federal agents or local law enforcement. But what needs to happen is the holistic approach of a good security advance. And that starts with threat intelligence. And an individual like Mr. Kirk, you conduct an open source threat intelligence summary, and you can tell that the threat is high. Then that dictates how.
I've been trying to kind of keep eye on the chat. I do apologize. I'm trying to multitask, to have the video and I'm watching Twitter, so I apologize. I am reading chat as much as I can, but I can't read everything. I apologize. I don't know. It's just, it's sad. If this guy is the killer, it looks like they have him. Obviously, he was arrested last night. Who knows? He might just confess, because, if there's a lot of evidence, we'll see what happens. I think we just need to let time pass and let things kind of evolve, because I know, yesterday and last night, they were mentioning that Sky person, and I knew better. I'm like, I've seen it so many times where, people are trying to identify the person, and they think they found him, and yeah, that person kind of looked like him, and kind of fit that agenda. I don't know if agenda is the right word, but and so I put that photo up of that person, but I never put the name up, because I'm like, I do not want it, because that person's life is probably going to get ruined now. That's the thing. Yeah, facts will come out for sure. Yeah, we just got to wait. I think we're all trying to, I think most people are just trying to help and trying to figure it all out. And like this, this is just again, it's happening in my home state. Stuff like doesn't happen here in Utah. Not to say we're better than anybody else. It's just we're much we're not a huge Salt Lake's not a huge city. Orem's not big. Same with St. George. Our population compared to the other cities isn't big, and of course heavily Mormon state. I mean, that I don't know if that really means anything, but anyway, where was I going with this? But yeah, it's just, I don't know. The fact that you're just now, it's such a tragedy with Charlie Kirk, and now we're hearing like there's this Tyler Robinson that's a 20-year-old, and just looks like a bright kid, smart kid that all of a sudden got into politics and then got heated and then just decided to do the worst thing possible. It's crazy. I'm dumbfounded.
Approach these sites, and we're looking
Truly
at some footage here of Utah Valley University, and you need to conduct a site assessment. And I've never been there, but there's high ground everywhere. You spend some time, a day, a week prior, and you create that site assessment. Then you create an advanced document for the actual visit. And everything we've been told is they had 6 security officers from the university there. Then obviously Mr. Kirk had his own detail. But for that magnitude of that crowd and the high ground exposure and a lot of the vulnerabilities there, the proper techniques weren't put in place, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, to mitigate that threat. And it just goes back to being proactive and doing the work before the event actually occurs.
Yeah, we just went over that, Laura. It's
Tim, thank
wild.
you so much for that detailed breakdown. We are getting new images just into live now from Fox. We finally have that side-by-side booking photo. As mentioned in that press conference, the suspect on your screen identified as 22-year-old from Utah, Tyler Robinson. He has been booked into the Utah County Jail.
Yeah.
What's next,
it is
Tim?
a monster.
Obviously,
yeah.
many people thinking he will not be able to get any type of bond. He will remain there until that first court appearance.
Yeah, I mean, he is a monster. It's just, I'm dumbfounded. It's just, I'm just glad it's over, and there wasn't a longer manhunt, especially since he was, he made it to Washington. It's surprised he didn't just, try to, go for the border. Sorry, I am multitasking here, trying to get news here. But we are a death penalty state. Just looking for any other stuff here.
Dreamed we would.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway, but yeah, we went over the details. We'll just kind of refresh everything. What the hell? Anyway. Yeah, I agree, Rob. Yeah, exactly. I am surprised it's so easy to get on a rooftop like that. I totally agree. I think this, I think especially after the Trump shooting, I just can't see how. I get it, like Charlie Kirk's kind of a. I mean, he had some security. I know it's not the president, but yeah, they need to. Clearly, I'm sure this will definitely change how events like that are being held for sure. But yeah, I think it's just being able to get up onto that rooftop. That should have been something. Hopefully, that the campus then now makes sure that doesn't ever happen. Just from that standpoint. But yeah, anything going forward with kind of political stuff, definitely. Oh, UK stuff tomorrow. What's going on in UK? I've just been completely focused on this because obviously this happened here in my town or in my state. What's going on in the UK? I mean, I want to keep it on this because this is what I'm in, but I am curious. Let's see. This is what happened. Wait. Okay, hold on. I'm just about to play something here. Let's see. Here is. Yeah, so here is him. Grab that one. I don't think that's him. Okay. Let me put this up here. Sorry, guys. I'm just kind of trying to get into the latest stuff here. Oh, here's the neighbors. Let's see.
Right, we want to go now to our Southern Utah correspondent, Kenan Seacrest. He's actually outside of the house of where Tyler Robinson was taken into custody. Kenan, talk to us more about the scene.
Oh, wow! Expecting millions?
I mean, we're more.
Holy shit! Freedom March, large plan, gatherings, protest plan, far in advance. They're expecting maybe millions. Wow. Hopefully, it's it doesn't. There isn't like any looting or raiding. Hopefully it's a peaceful march. If that happens, that's awesome.
More and more people showing up here. I actually found two residents here. You guys are both from Washington County.
Yeah,
area.
Bigfoot. We'll go over that.
And I just kind of pulled over. You guys showed up here earlier today. Have been here for a little bit. Kind of talk to me about what it was like kind of finding out that something like this happened so close to where you guys live.
Okay, I'm going to go full screen. I'm going to play this. I just need to use the restroom for a second, so I'm going to go full page. But yeah, we'll go over, because I do need to fix a couple of things that I have now learned, with the probable cause affidavit and stuff. So yeah, we can definitely look at that, because now we kind of know a little bit more I wonder if there is footage of him arrive. Well, yeah, there clearly is because they say he arrived at 8:29. Yeah, we'll go over that. So I'm gonna play this. This is the neighbor, probably next to the home or something, in Washington State. So I'll put this full screen for a second, and then I'm just gonna use the restroom real quick, guys. My apologies.
Correspondent Kenan Seacrest. He's actually outside of the house of where Tyler Robinson was taken into custody. Kenan, talk to us more about the scene.
Yeah, I mean, we're more and more people showing up here. I actually found two residents here. You guys are both from Washington County area, and I just kind of pulled over. You guys showed up here earlier today, have been here for a little bit. Kind of talk to me about what it was like kind of finding out that something like this happened so close to where you guys live.
It was absolutely stunning. It was shocking, so unexpected. Not in St. George, you know.
Yeah.
Not in St. George.
Not in this tight community that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of talk to me. I mean, a lot of people. I think they said not in St. You said not in St. George, but up north. That's where the shooting happened and stuff. And to kind of see that the arrest was made here. He was able to travel all the way down. It's about a 4-hour drive from up there.
Mm-hmm.
Does it kind of shock you that an arrest was made here?
Absolutely, it shocks us.
Well, I can't believe with the FBI and the governor and Trump and everybody that was working on this, in 33 hours, they caught him. They figured out where he lived, but I never would have thought it would be anybody from here.
Yeah, this is a very conservative county.
Very conservative, yeah.
A lot of older people, a lot of families. You know, it just doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah. You know? I mean, I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing. I have grown up here as well to see something like this happen, and it to be hit so close to home. Kind of talk to me. You guys said that, I mean, it's such a tight-knit community. Do you guys know who this person is, who the family is, and kind of anything about them?
I know nothing about them. Nothing.
Yeah. We just pulled up, and we talked to the lady down the street. And she was a school teacher, correct?
She'd been a school teacher.
And she taught them, her kids grew up with him.
Yeah, she's seen the children since they were just little guys.
And she says that they had no clue that this was something that would have happened because of his personality. There was just nothing.
Nothing.
No
red flags,
no.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He was a good kid.
I mean, and they talked a lot about him getting very political just recently. So I think that a lot of people are shocked to hear this.
Oh, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean,
it just doesn't happen in St. George. I mean, I don't even lock my doors at night.
Yeah, it is. It's true. Like St. George is a place that people go to retire. I think it's the number one. I know it was for a while, and it might still be, but yeah, St. George is, God, it's a lovely place.
You know, because
is that his vehicle right there? That's a Dodge Challenger, right? Gray?
This is such a nice community, and it's family oriented, and it's elderly people, and it's just a nice community to live in. And to have something like this, to know that, now I don't live close by, but to have something like this, you know, 1.5 miles away from me.
It doesn't fit the profile at all. Not at all.
No. You said a 1.5 miles away from you was where the arrest was made. Does it worry you? You said you don't even lock your doors at home. That's kind of the community that this is. Going forward, after something like this happens here in southern Utah, in Washington City, is that something that's maybe going to change for you guys?
No, not at all. I'm from Atlanta, lived in Miami. I've always lived in a big city, so I've always been very cautious.
That's interesting. That'll be interesting. I can use that because once I'm done with this live, I'm going to redo the timeline. But we'll do that live, kind of break it down. But I'm going to do a short video because I put one out today. Like, I got up early this morning to do like just a breakdown video of all the surveillance and kind of the timeline. And the one thing I got wrong is with the gun placement. It was kind of a little bit off. Everything else is pretty much spot on. But now, of course, with the probable cause affidavit, we have, more details.
Same, it's shocking, but it can happen anywhere, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, because I lived in San Jose, California for 40 years.
40 years, yeah.
And I mean, everything happened down there, but that's just not something that happens here. So I'm not going to be concerned here. No.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Yeah, guys, I mean, that's kind of what we know. It's a tight-knit community here, and a lot of people very shocked that something like this happened here in Washington City, and the arrest was made here. Guys, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, Cannon, thank you. And we look forward to more updates from whoever else you end up.
Yeah, me too, Caroline. That's a great point. Yeah, that's why I was like, is that his car in the background? Like, I mean, again, they arrested him last night. Maybe they have to get, a search warrant. So I'm sure probably they're, getting that. I'm sure they're doing interviews with him. And then I'm sure after that's all done, then they'll probably get his car. It sounds clearly like since his father or the minister, a former cop or whatever, I'm sure they know that they're not going to, do anything with the car. But yeah, I think that should probably be towed. So people don't come and vandalize it.
Up talking to.
But that is interesting that is his car. Let me see here. And they're always in the frame, huh? I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of that. So that way we have something for... I can put when I'm doing the timeline. 1 second here. Car. There we go. Oh, yeah, Dad. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. When I was reading that one thing, it kind of made it sound like the minister also had some law enforcement experience, at least, but and it could be both. Let's see. They bought that car as a gift, a scholarship. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Let's see if this one.
We got him. The words that everyone has been waiting to hear. We are following breaking news. This is the mugshot of the 22-year-old man who authorities say killed conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. Tyler Robinson is his name, and he was arrested overnight, roughly 3 hours south of where he allegedly fired that shot that killed Kirk in front of thousands of people.
We'll go over the timeline and then finish up. And if you guys have anything else you want to go over, we'll do that. And then I'm going to work on a video. But that's a new photo. Again, that's weird because that looks like a carabiner. Can see we got the evidence thing there. But we know exactly where this is at, so assuming this has got to be where the gun was found. Yeah, I mean, no, makes no excuse. Yeah, at 22, I mean, you're an adult, you're a big boy. Violence is not the answer. Okay, so let me close this and... All right, so now we have a little bit more about the timeline. So now we know. So let me, again. So he drove from Washington State on September 10th. So obviously the day of the event. I go back. That is 3.5 hours away from southern Utah here. Basically next to St. George. So he drove early that morning. He got there at, what was it, 8:29? Is that what we had? Let me see, PC. Let me just pull that up, and then I can have that ready while we do this. There it is. Let's see here. Gosh, that's so tight. It's the next one here. Yeah, it's definitely this one. Where are you? Where are you? There it is, 8:29. Okay, so let me throw that over here. Yeah, let me close this. Oh, does it mess that up? Of course it is. Okay. Yeah, Washington State, Utah. Or Washington, Utah. I'm sorry. I've been covering a lot of that other case, so it just flows out. I wanted to say Washington State. Yeah, Washington, Utah. I apologize. Bad habit. Working with that other case. So yeah, Washington, Utah. My apologies. Washington, Utah. 3.5 miles away. 3.5 hours away. Over 260 miles away. So he left. So if he got there at 8:29. So yeah, he left at probably 5 a.m. Something like that. So then he arrived and parked. Still not sure exactly where he parked. Got to figure that out. But he's clearly seen parking it on campus. Let me just double check this. So it says, just to make sure here. Yeah, footage. Robinson arriving with the gray Dodge Challenger at 8:29. He's observed wearing video plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shirt. So he did have, because he didn't have a maroon shirt on when obviously when he took the shot before and after. So clearly that backpack must have had some clothing in it. Yeah, because he had, and he had shorts on. He had the black hat with the white logo. So he did have so the two things is he had a maroon t-shirt and a light colored shorts when he got there. I wonder if they'll release that. That'll be interesting. I wonder, it's interesting. If he dished the gun here, I wonder if he did park here. You know what? Okay, let me write this down. Let's look out for a Dodge Challenger in the footage, because I didn't even think about that. I bet you he went and changed somewhere and then walked back. I wonder, I don't know. There's still something that's missing here. I wonder why they don't mention like him walking back to wherever he parked his car. Driving. Yeah, because they've had to get out. Okay. No, he did not have gloves, Boog, at Green Street. He certainly wasn't the brightest. So anyway, yeah. So he arrived at 8:29. So clearly, and he was wearing different clothing. So clearly, that's a little less than 3 hours, or a little more than 3 hours before the event. So probably planning his thing there. Sorry, let me get this oriented here. So maybe I don't know. There's parking garage. You could have parked here, or maybe over here. Yeah, I guess there's more parking over here. Actually, that wouldn't surprise me if he's parked over here. Oh, yeah, I bet he's probably, that's why he took 800 South. So he probably parked up over here or up in here. I mean, it says he's on the campus, though. So maybe somewhere over here. I don't know. I'm sure we'll learn that. So anyway, he arrives, then, they don't mention, anything between that except until we see him shortly before noon. Let me make this over here. So obviously coming down 800 West. So I wonder if he wrapped around. So maybe he parked. It'd be interesting to figure this out. I'm assuming maybe he parked somewhere. Let me just look here at this. I'm sure there's probably cameras there. Oh yeah, there's cameras stuff. So maybe he parked here or something like that. Then went down 800 South. Just speculating. And that's 800 South right there. And then this is 800 West. So then clearly, so I wonder if he walked off away from campus, went somewhere and then changed, and then put the rifle in his pants. Why would he park in campus, be seen walk through the neighborhood before the shooting? Why would he be parked, but seen walking through the neighborhood before? So he again, I don't know exactly where he parked, so I'm just speculating. Keep in mind that it just says he's seen on footage with the Dodge Challenger wearing different clothing with the backpack. So but it doesn't say anything else in that. Maybe they're, I'm sure we'll learn more. So it looks like there's a tunnel that he took from here. I missed out on that, so I'm not sure where that tunnel leads. Let me... Right there. There's a walk through the parking lot approached. Then he entered on the southeast part of the building. So he entered on this one, and then this is probably where he got caught on those cameras that we're going to see here in just a minute. Those photos that were released. These ones here. Clearly has the gun. I mean, I'm surprised, because it looks like he's got skinny jeans. I am surprised he's got this rifle in there. But I mean, you can kind of make it out in a sense, like the rifle here. Clearly, that leg. Oh, that's interesting. Then another shot where you can definitely see that there's clearly some unusual bulges on the right leg there. Then, of course, he ends up getting up on the roof, which I think hopefully the campus will, do something about that so you can't just easily get up onto something like that. And it would have been 11:50, or no, actually now it would have been, let's see, I'm trying to see here. So about noon is when he's about on the top. No, okay, so 12:15, he's observed walking up the stairs. 12:17 is when he climbed up, and 12... Man, he didn't have a lot. I mean, this is pretty quick. So he's up on the roof about 12:18. And then, so about 12:20, I know I have AM. I apologize. I need to fix that. At 12:20 p.m., he's getting in position. 12:22, he's now facing towards the direction of Charlie Kirk. And then at 12:23 is when he takes the shot. Then he is seen leaving, sprinting towards the north. Let's see what else was there. Yes, they said he changed on the roof. Changed into what? I mean, he's wearing what he's... I don't know what he changed. I think the only thing Susan, I think they said is once he got on the roof, they noticed that I think he got, let's see, how did they word it here? So once he got up on the roof, he crouched down on the north part of it. So the north part would have been over here. So this is south right here, looking this way. That's east. So this is north. So he was over here, and he crouched down, and that's when I guess he took the gun out of his pants, because then they say he's now moving more freely. I'm seeing a lot of people compare some stuff. Give me a second. I will, if we can. Sorry, I'm looking at chat. I'm looking at the PC, and I'm looking at the video. Of course, there's you know, some of the indentations from where he was prone. And then, of course, after the shot, he runs north. And then heads kind of northeast towards that corner, where then he's caught on this camera. And there he is, running away. Clearly he doesn't have the limp anymore. And he has his backpack on. That was the one thing, like, when we first saw this, is like, was his backpack in his hand? But no, that's a dark towel. It laid over. And apparently he left some, like, kind of palm prints there when he did that. And I guess some shoe impressions. But you can definitely tell, like, that's not back, you know, that's like a shirt or, well, it's a towel. Now, I guarantee he hurt himself. The way he landed, I've dropped off so many things, and that doesn't look like he. I mean, that's a tall drop. It doesn't look like it. It's a tall drop. It's 2 stories, even though he's dangling down. It didn't look like he absorbed it very well. Yeah, I guarantee he sprained something. So there you can see he's like dragging that towel with the covered with the rifle. You can see the backpack at certain angles. It like blends in with him, but you can see the backpack clearly. There's a slightly different change in the color tone versus like his arms. So this is interesting. This now makes more sense. So now he's going to go on this college campus drive here, and this is where this is right here. Let's get right there. Oh, here we are. Here he is. Let's see if we can get. Oh, no, I want to go the other way. So he is standing right here, and so he must have went this way, and that's where we get to see the. Oh, what? Ooh, interesting. I mean, yeah, Kiki, I'm not sure what Frank said, but I mean, yeah, it definitely was. Yeah. Shout out to the family members. You know, they did the right thing. You know, and yeah, I can't imagine what that family's going through. But yeah, of course, credit to everybody. Of course, but yeah. So he definitely went in here, and we've got now even more photos of them collecting evidence in that wooded area. As you can see, there's them. There's one of them there. That's forensics, FBI. You can see how the embankment is, and that is definitely this area right here. There's somewhere probably right in here, because you can see the pole, and one of them you can see the turn right there. FBI is on the other side of the street. They're like standing right here, looking in here. So this is where the gun and bullets had to have been found. Yeah, I'm just going through the timeline check, and then we'll see what else we can get. And then from there, so then he then cuts back over here. We know that. And see, I thought he dropped a gun here, so I was wrong about that. Because, I mean, there's only a couple of wooded areas. And, of course, we know he walked through there because he's seen on video, and we see FBI marshals. I mean, that is literally just the tail end of what we were just looking at, where they're clearly... I think they said that there was a footprint found in that area back there in that backyard. And then, so clearly he walked through that backyard. And then the last spot here where he, and this is 800 West again. So if he's coming back, so that would make sense that his car, because like, that's the question. I'm like, why didn't he? So this kind of makes more sense. Again, I don't know 100%, but like I always kind of wondered like why, if you're coming back here, there's clearly, witnesses running this way. Obviously you could just blend in, it's just, there was just a shooting. I was always wondering why he just didn't go up 750 West, but he actually curves back around, running. So it does make me wonder if the car is like parked, maybe one of these spots here. That would make sense somewhere over here. I agree, Deanna. I know. So stupid. So what a waste. Yeah, I think credit needs to go to everybody, of course. Even the public, getting that, getting the photos out there, right? That was the best thing, obviously, to release images so they could identify him. So is there something going on? Yeah, that I agree, Shaq. I'm not a parent, but I can't imagine. Heather says, yeah, sure is. Looks like his sprain. Oh, guaranteed he hurt something. Bruised, sprain. Could even broken. I as someone who used to drop off stuff like that, I mean, usually not that high, but, I used to jump off stuff like that, skateboarding, and yeah. But when you have adrenaline going, you can just go through anything until that next morning, and then you realize you messed up. So is there... Oh, what was that? I'm sorry. Who was it? Was it Jocelyn or was it... Oh, is this... let me check on Twitter. Karen, do you know where I can find that, Carolyn? Hey, it's like somebody's watching my show. I just had JLR post the Dodge Challenger. I just mentioned.
It closes. So every time you shoot, you have to chamber another round. This is an example of one of the rounds that the shooter could have been
Hold it up,
shooting.
please.
This is a 308. and it's one of the most common
my
rounds.
stars. Just wait a minute. Hold on.
Okay, sorry. That might have been something interesting. Yeah, if you can email me the link, sure. Is that more photos of him? That doesn't look like him. Now everybody's talking about the Dodge Challenger. That's funny. Just after we looked at that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because clearly there could be evidence in there. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Sarcasm. Yeah, I feel like I had, because clearly this happened in my home state. This, we cover true crime. Again, not political channel, but this is just truly heartbreaking. Okay, I think I check my email real quick here, guys. Let me just let's put that up for a second while I do this. Let's see, Rena t-shirt. I haven't seen anything yet. Nothing yet from you. Sorry, now I can't see chat. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, you guys are awesome. Yeah, everybody's talking about the car. I'm not saying they're like, what? Oh, I got it now, Carolyn. Okay, I see it. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Carolyn. Oh, is this the TMZ one? Oh, I have this. I think, unless there's more to this.
Mom jeans. She passed them down to you, but who passed them to her? Good question. You can thank generations of amazing women for those genes.
Wait, hold on.
Discover their lives and what led to you with an Ancestry Family History membership. See your roots and where those stories came from with an Ancestry DNA kit. Put them together, and there you are. Get started today at Ancestry.
Okay. Yes, I have this one. But is there something else in this? So yeah, that video. Okay. What are they doing? Oh, that's the home. Oh, that's the home. I know exactly what home that is. That is the home right here. That is literally right here. That's that camera. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I have that footage. But thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate you trying to help. But that is funny. Yep, that is them pulling that footage, which is the one that TMZ had released. So it says his brother owns the surveillance and authorities confiscated it Thursday. Recorded a single person run into the backyards on the block after the shooting. The street is near a wooded area where investigators recovered a rifle earlier in the investigation. So it says he thinks the suspect ran down the alleyway, ditched his weapon, bypassed the fence where it ended, and ran through his family's properties. Yeah, interesting. That one part's interesting. Said he ran down the alleyway, which I believe the alleyway that they're talking about is that one that is. I'm assuming this kind of like alleyway here. I could be wrong. I mean, but he is. That's kind of. I mean, that's where he goes. I mean, he's first seen walking down this way, but then of course he's going through this. But the fact that he curves over and doesn't go up 750, instead of going this way, he goes this way, tells me he probably wraps around to 800 South, and then he's probably, I'm assuming, because, yeah, there's cameras. Yeah, guaranteed. I would guess, my guess is either this parking lot or this one here, and then maybe he goes out of the way to change, which is weird. I wonder why he didn't change in his car. That is weird. But I mean, he got there like 4 hours before, so maybe he was just scouting. That's my best guess there. Oh, thank you, Chemistry Queen. God bless. Oh yeah, we love Chris McDonough. He's the boss. He's a good man. Oh, he's in Washington County. Oh, right on. That would be cool to meet him. That would be really cool. I keep calling it Washington State. It's because, when you were working on the Brian Kohlberger case, the Washington State University, it just flows out. I've done it so much with Brian Kohlberger, it just kind of flows out, and so I always want to say Washington State, but yeah, so I do apologize. Yeah, they do. They sell it to him. Yeah, it is true, Judd. They sold it to him. But to be honest, I know it feels a little icky, but in this sense, I think when something like this, surveillance is, if they're trying to catch somebody, don't matter, whatever it is, surveillance and getting it out to the public, I understand them trying to keep, certain details close to the vest. But at the same time, surveillance and getting that out to the public is going to be the best thing to catch, whoever. But thank you so much. Much love from Louisiana. God bless you. Yes, maybe if you missed out, he went back to Washington State. See there. See, it's like ingrained in me. It's gonna be a while till I could. Washington, Utah here. Which is basically St. George. It's just it's just right there. So yeah, look how far he got. He's almost in, northern Utah, basically, in Orem. And I just live just a little bit above that in Salt Lake City right here. And yeah, he managed to get all the way. Imagine if he had just a plan from there, if he already had an escape plan, once he got back home to just, maybe go for the border or something. So very lucky that, when he got there and, his father, Washington County, yeah. Yeah, pretty wild. I'm gonna try to put as much as I can for sure. And that's true. They may have like said, "Hey, we got this." Yeah, you never know. Like if there is like some kind of maybe connection there, that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, they did some kind of exchange.
Those bullet casings, and I believe conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images.
I think, okay, let me know what you guys think in chat. So they're basically saying he was, when they captured him, or he turned himself in or whatever, he was then wearing the same clothes that he was seen in the morning on September 10th. Is that what he's... I love John Wolfe. Wait, is that the real John Wolfe? Is that what do you guys think he's saying? Is that that light maroon and the shorts that he was seen in the morning? That's what he was wearing when they captured him? Because that'd also be big as well. Because that's what it sounds like. I wish they would say, they probably will. We'll probably learn more, of course. I'm just still trying to understand, like, when did he change? Did he just go back to the car? Then change into, or did he, because they don't mention backpack. I don't know. I'm a little confused on that. I'm assuming he maybe came back and changed and then got back out and they just didn't mention it. I don't know. That part's weird.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I agree. I don't know why the car hasn't been impounded. I'm sure they will. They did say he'd get the death penalty. He'd be tried in Utah. Won't he, Chris? Yeah, we do have the death penalty. I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah. I think so. Why do you need to change clothes? Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. This is a good question. Maybe he thought that after the shooting, he could go and then, like, change. See, because he runs. He wouldn't be able to change. Like, maybe he thought maybe he could change in the woods or something. Maybe he had the clothing in his backpack. And thought maybe he could just change back in. I mean, to be honest, it sounds like this guy was, like, ready to... I mean, he's not the bright. I mean, he's bright, but it's like he really didn't help himself with a lot of things. Leaving evidence behind, being on Discord, leaving those messages. I mean, I don't know. It's like to me, it's almost like he wanted to be caught in a way. There's anything else? Let me do one last thing and then we'll finish up here. I know people want me to like zoom in and stuff. I am gonna enhance more on that video. So Chuck Lady and some others wanted me to do that. I apologize. Let's see. I was just see if there's any kind of other details that might be in a article. I guess they turned on his live and just had an empty chair just in honor for him. Poor guy. Poor family. Okay, here's what happens next. Utah law enforcement has 3 business days to file formal charges against the suspect, said this morning. The state will work on building more information on probable cause. That will probably lead into retrieving that vehicle. Once these documents are filed, there will be a preliminary hearing, which first time the suspect will go before the judge. The hearing will likely happen early next week. So today, yeah. Today's Friday, right? Yeah. That is the judge held without bail. Obviously, he's got 3 felony accounts. Talks about the family helping. The bullets. So suspect is believed to have acted alone. I know that would probably be a big question for a lot of people. That's what the Governor Spencer Cox is saying. Utah County Jail. Let's see. Talk about the Discord messages. I'm gonna do a video right after I finish this live. Yeah, here's that talking about the footage of him wearing the. I feel like we're still missing some stuff. Like, when did he change? And where was exactly the car at? Okay. Yeah. So he had that maroon and shorts on before, and then after when they came, when they arrested him on the night of the 11th. Well, they kind of say the 12th. I guess the exchange started on last night, and then I guess early this morning, because they say September 12th, which is today. They say he was arrested yesterday. It's kind of confusing. Anyway. I'm going to look at this article. And of course. Never mind. Nope, I'm not. Do we do CNN? A dinner conversation, Discord, and Dad. These clues helped investigators zero in on the suspect. So they were having dinner when he told his father. He was taking. So that's where he was taken in at 10 p.m. yesterday. But they keep mentioning the 12th. Like they said he had the clothes on that he had on the 10th on the 12th. Like I wonder if they're just getting that date wrong. That's like, I know it's kind of minute, but it's weird. Yeah, those Discord messages will not look good. Just seeing if there's anything. Curious about this up arrow, right arrow, 3 down arrow symbols. Has no apparent connection to transgender people. That's interesting. I'm sure someone will figure it out. Unless it's just kind of... Yeah, so he's not far, he's not far away from me. Oh, that's another photo I haven't seen. Oh. That's got a symbol on it. Interesting. Oh, I hate these files. You guys suck. That's a new one. Keep finding these random FBI photos where they allegedly got the gun. Yeah, that looks definitely a lot more lush and full than it does when you're looking at it from kind of the... I mean, I guess you can't really see it, but... Sorry. Let's see. Get there. We get there. Getting there. There we go. Yeah, I guess you can't really just see what's in there, but... Yeah, I guess it's kind of gets really dense in there. But that is where they found the bullet and rifle. What it seems like. More stuff. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Oh, so yeah, so it says where the gun was found. Interesting. Okay. So now we got one that's confirming where that gun's found. It's got it more over here, which is interesting. Area rifle by a suspect was found. Location where suspect jumped off. Interesting. Man, just crazy. All right. Let's see. Oh, is it Antifa? Is that what it... Oh, no. Oh, no, my chat... Oh, it's stupid. Sorry, guys. I lost my connection there for a second. That's lame. All right, maybe that's a cue to head out. No, Beach Bum. Oh no, I can't even pull up your comment because I have to reset this everything. Shoot. Yeah, I can't pull up the comments right now because my thing just restarted, or I had a blip with the internet. Interesting, Judd. Yeah, I'll take a look at it after I go get off and try to put something together. Fallout 4 jumping off that roof is easy and harmless even with power arm. We got a gamer, Caroline. That's funny. I mean, yeah, I would not be surprised if he got hurt. Yeah, just reading your guys' comments. Sorry, I can't pull them up because I had to redo it, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in, and yeah, I'm gonna make a better video. I put one out earlier just before I went live, but now of course there's so much more information. But I was already working on it well before they announced he was caught. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do a much better because now there's more information. So, and yeah. But I appreciate, thanks Jocelyn coming in, sweetheart. I appreciate you helping me. Which college was he going to? He was going to the Utah State University. I can't remember if he was at the time. I'm not sure. I know he went to Utah State. But yeah. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday and weekend. Thanks, Caroline. Good to see you, sweetheart. Thank you to everybody. Pocahontas, good to see you. All my members, patrons. But yeah, I'm going to definitely do a much better video. If you saw the one I put out earlier, I'm going to, because obviously there's so much more. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on today. So God bless, guys. And unless like something huge breaking happens with everything, but we'll definitely keep an eye on this case because again, this is something that's kind of personal here. It happened in Utah. It's tragic. So, all right, guys, much love. We will